I keep to the shadows for the most part. Not there's any need to. The entire place just feels empty. Odd, when a house this big should have a large staff. You'd think there'll be one or two roaming about for some late night chores, or someone seeking out whoever's creating this ruckus. There's none, however.
Shouldn't they have security posted inside as well?
Alright, just wanted to put that away. Unless their security means the butler, though I doubt Scumbag's that sloppy. He loves his life more than anything. Probably more than his own wife. And the things he's done, he's bound to make more than an enemy or two. He's also the kind who'll do anything to keep himself safe. Alive.
I wonder what he'll say when he finds out that there's something not human living with him in his own house.
Potential dangers aside, being on my own grants me a greater degree of mobility, which I'm more comfortable with. Sure, I could enlist Macaulay's help. Next to the people who owns this, she's probably the one who's most familiar with the mansion. But the pros of bringing her outweighs the cons. She's better off somewhere, a quick exit's in sight. With no tag along, I only have to worry about myself. Watch my back. Selfish, I know.
But necessary.
In the same manner this whole plan is, no matter how idiotic going into this is. Besides, I don't really need a guide when the house layout is fairly simple, almost mirrored, with only a few modifications in the rooms. Although I only been here once, I think I already have a good grasp of this place's in and outs. As long as you can tell which is east and west, it shouldn't be hard to find my way around. After the dining hall, the main foyer should be the next thing that greets me, where the woman's cries are leading me. Honestly, after what happened outside, I'm not even sure if I should be trusting what I'm hearing. But with the whole house somehow seeming devoid of any of its inhabitants, I'm inclined to look into this. More than surviving this curse, a huge part of this is my training speaking.
I just hope this isn't a crime scene I'm walking into.
But nothing is ever that simple, is it? Not when you're dealing with the supernatural, nope. Because as soon as my feet crosses to the next room, something shifts. In a flash, nearly without fanfare. Yes. Wait, so there's the cousin. And then there's her. The sister? The mother? It happens in the blink of an eye. I almost miss it. One moment, there's red. In the next, I'm standing alone in the foyer. For a brief instant, I pause, glancing wildly around the place, blinking twice as if my movements will spur the vision back. Yet, nothing. No blood dripping on the walls, none trailing down the stairs or pooled on the floor, No eyes watching my every movement. Or wait, what? What does it say? Uh, no eyes watching my. Okay. Only the cries, gradually growing in intensity the longer I dally, along with the voice. Wait, mother. Desperate.
Where are you, Mother?
Pleading.
Mother, please. I don't want to be alone.
Is it? Is it Hana? Coming from the same direction I heard the cries from. Upstairs. The place is not entirely empty then. A better question now is who? Definitely not Scumbag or the butler. I've yet to see hide or hair of them, and not knowing their whereabouts puts me on the edge. I have to be careful not to make any noise or be seen. Maybe the wife, though one can't really tell if it's her, the way the walls echo her voice. Nevertheless, it pushes me to move. Taking almost 2 steps at a time, despite the sickening feeling that something's lurking behind every great shadow, every small corner I pass. As if the house has several eyes watching my every movement. Movement, yeah. As if something alive dwells behind the walls itself. ... Oh my. Fuck you. I tried to shake it off, but the uneasy sensation has already made home at the pit of my stomach, dread, and it only grows deeper the closer I get to her. The relative emptiness of the place doesn't help either. Neither does the harsh wind battering the windows, nor the sheets of rain pelting on down the roof. For a fleeting second, I find myself wishing for Scumbag to simply show up. I don't get too far down into that train of thought. Abruptly, the cries stop, replacing it with a wail.
Mother, please. She's here. She's here, Mother. She's going to take me. She won't leave, Mother. Mother, I don't want to go with her. Tell her to go away. Mother! Mother, she's here! Help!
That can't be good. Adrenaline overcomes me in a rush. In no 2 heartbeats, my feet's already moving before any sense can catch up or doubt creeps up to me. My hand's ready at the holster as I hesitantly set off for the far side of the hall. One alarm footstep after another while struggling to keep that sense of panic at bay. A door lies ajar at the end, and coming from the floor above.
She's going to hurt me! Help me!
But she's possessed. I do not hesitate. Moving in, despite the lack of light, the steep stairs, or the thick layer of dust kicking up with my every step. I pause only a moment upon reaching the top. Then, without wasting a second, I push the door open. You are not Hana. You are the bitch that tortured Charlotte. Or are you Charlotte? I don't know. She sits in the middle of the room, shoulders hunched, shaking. Her hands cover her face as she weeps, oblivious to my presence. Why is she crying? It's as if she has heard neither my footsteps nor the soft creaking of the door, continuing, undisturbed, like I'm standing in a time far removed from her. She doesn't even flinch when I call out to her.
Hey, are you alright?
Mother, I've done it, Mother. Take me with you, please.
Done it.
I can still hear her. She's here.
So her mother made her kill that girl? Or what? Who is she, by the way?
Help me! Help me, please!
Belatedly, I noticed the blood on her hands. If it's the same one dredging the whole attic, I'd rather not know. How the whole room has ended up like this is the least of my problems at the moment. Even the single human body doesn't have this much blood. So, bodies? The thought sends an unpleasant twinge in my stomach. Does Wright even know about this? He's bad news, alright, but this is beneath him. He'll definitely balk at first sight of it. Anyone will. Yet the woman lingers here, unmoved by the sight, letting her sobs fill the room. Repeating the words, over and over again, like a prayer of salvation. To whom? The mess of parchment she has left on the floor? What the hell is happening?
Hey, lady, are you?
The rest of that question never makes it out. So, is she the one that made the letter then? I don't even see it coming. Should have been more aware and on guard, really. Oh my! But there's little I can do when a well-placed blow to the back of my knees makes me stumble. The momentum alone sends me reeling forward. It barely even registers in my head that the woman's gone and the room's as normal as it can be. Not above the pain suddenly shooting up my side when I hit the floor. I don't even get the chance to get my bearings back when a hard enough blow to the stomach causes me to buckle down and land heavily on my knees. Gasping, I fumble wildly for my gun. Although before I am able to turn, level it, and shoot, a hand grabs my wrist and twists it. It's the butler. Hard. A gasp. A grunt. A cry of pain slips past my mouth. The gun falls to the floor with a thunk. As soon as it lands, a foot kicks it out of my reach, and it slides uselessly under the bed. Agony suddenly explodes in my chin, jerking loose a sharp cry of pain, and stars fill the edges of my vision. The butler is a badass. A brief moment of regret hits me for leaving my taser with McCullough when a piece of my cloth closes around my neck. Cloth. Without warning, my attacker pulls tight. I'm left gasping, choking, and clawing for air, blindly reaching behind me as I still try to fight him off and loosen the pressure on my neck. Him. except any sort of movement only causes him to pull it taut.
My, so many rats scurrying about in this mansion lately.
Yep, the butler. He is a badass. He knows. And don't you know judo? Come on! Writes butler. Shit.
Tell me, what did you do with the madam?
I have no idea what he's talking about. Did something happen to Hana, right?
Let go, you asshole.
Ooh.
Now, Dummkopf, you're in no position to be rude. Last time I checked, I'm not the one breaking into other people's homes. Now answer my question. What did you do with the madam?
The pain rings and resonates through my already sore body. Still, I managed to write it out and spit a mutinous.
Fuck you.
Keep that dirty mouth babbling and you're getting a knife in the kidney.
Ooh.
I assure you it will be more painful than this.
He really doesn't need to threaten me by now. It's all too much to bear at this point. My lungs feel like they're burning with the lack of air. Dark spots begin to fill the edges of my vision. Ever so slowly, the world around me dims. My consciousness rapidly slips away from me. And, without meaning to...
Get away from him!
Wait, what? Hearing that voice, it's as if I've been doused with a bucket full of ice, cold water, familiar, too familiar. And more importantly, it shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be hearing it here. She shouldn't be here. Immediately, my eyes snap open. Oh, hi! And right there, right on the attic's doorway, stands Isabella, of all people. A rolling pin on one hand, and a standard issue police taser on the other. My taser. She must have borrowed it from Makala. Where else could she have gotten one? I doubt she has ever used one. Even. Hell, the way she holds it right now, this gun can easily disarm. This guy can easily disarm her in one hit. But there's something in her. In her eyes. Although there's a look of fear in them, and her hand shakes, she keeps the weapon trained and pointed at Scumbag's lackey. Untrained or not, she does not plan to leave here without putting up a fight, it seems. Admirable, really. But it's just not something we need right now. I need her to be away from it. I need her to be away from here. I need her safe. But the chances of that happening grow slim with every laughter that slips from him.
Oh, this is just getting better and better. The Bratwurst won't be pleased with the number of bodies we have to dispose of today, you know.
Wait. What? Wait, what does he mean?
Tell me, how many of you are there? So I can prepare the proper number of bags.
Damn it. What the fuck is going on? Why is she here in the first place? Did she follow after me? Who else came with her? Zach? Rebecca? Wait, wow. Story updated, story updated, story updated, story updated. Are they all here? Ugh. I really don't want to know. Well, if Isabella is definitely here. Zachary might definitely be here. Rebecca, not so sure. Panic surges within me. She knows how bad this situation is, but did she really have to run in here and expose herself like that? Does she even know how to use a taser? For fuck's sakes, more than worrying for my life, it's her I'm concerned about. Getting strangled, dying by choking isn't part of the plan, but her following me here isn't either. This is why I prefer to do things alone. This is why I'd rather be the only one to take the consequences. I don't even want to think that this bastard might do to her after he's done with me. Though my voice comes off nearly a croak, I try to tell her as much. She has to leave. Stay far away from here and these people.
Don't! Damn it, Isabella! Get out of here!
Ow! Another bout of pain erupts in my side, cutting off my words. A cry of agony bursts from my mouth. I can taste blood in my tongue as I heave, attempting to get in as much air despite the towel still coiled around my neck.
Ash?
You're going to lose air quickly that way, Dummkopf. Better keep it shut.
Get out! 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 Belle!
Don't be stupid! I'm not leaving you here!
He laughs, too cruel, too unforgiving. The way each note beats against my ears, in spite of the warmth in them, sends chills down my spine. This is a man whose hands have already been stained with blood before. He won't hesitate.
I'd follow his advice if I were you, little girl. What could you possibly do with a toy? Just hand it over and be on your way. It'll probably be too difficult for a little girl like you to use.
There's a moment of silence. Fuck, I can barely keep my eyes open. But in the next second, though I still don't exactly understand what's happening, Isabella shouts. Wait, what? Late bloomer? Not a cry of pain. Not a yell of panic. But one that's resolute, firm, perhaps in a tone that's leagues fiercer than any I've heard from her before.
Try me! Ashton, duck!
What? I do. More out of instinct and desire to survive, closing my eyes before my mind can fully process what's going on. It all happens in a blur. The telltale sound of a taser being discharged resounds through the room. The air crackles. Something whizzes by, almost too close to my ear, followed by a thud of something blunt connecting solidly with another object. Oh, what? Something whizzes by, almost too close to my ear, followed by by the thud of something blunt connecting solidly with another object. And she does it with the rolling pin. Like, I don't think no human can withstand, I don't know, a taser to whatever they get hit, unless they're absolutely insane. But who knows? The next thing I know, the towel strangling me has started to loosen. I collapse on the floor, dazed and gasping for air. From my perpetual through the haze of blood rushing and sound slowly filtering back, the butler buckles. He spams once. Then, without much fuss, falls face first beside me, knocked unconscious, by 50,000 volts of electricity and a fucking rolling pin. Oh, there it is. He'll be out for a while. I have no idea whether I should laugh or cry at that. Somewhere in front of me, my oxygen-derived brain vaguely registers Isabella's form. She slumps on the floor, also breathing heavy. Right next to her trembling hands, both the taser and the rolling pin lie useless and forgotten while the mood in the room eases. A long, gradual process of the tension lifting. For countless seconds, we remain quiet. With only our short gasp and sighs to fill the silence, allowing the adrenaline ebb away, and both are breathing to slow. Not a true repose by any means, but simply a brief respite. There's still the curse. We're still inside the mansion, in immediate danger. We still have no idea how to fix this. Outside, the rain seems to only intensify. Lightning flashes fleetingly somewhere, white and piercing, and the sky rumbles. No rest for the wicked. ... I stir first, once recovered, having regained some semblance of sense and strength. Breathing still hurts, but it's bearable, as is moving. Although every small motion causes a wince, there will be bruising tomorrow. I can manage. Retrieving my gun from under the bed is easy, but only with some effort. I am able to drag an unconscious man to the far end of the room, snapping one end of a handcuff on his wrist while fastening the other on the bed frame. That should keep him restrained for a few hours, in case he wakes up prematurely. All through this, Isabella stays quiet. In fact, she hasn't even moved since. Her hands still shake, and taking in long draws of breath while she stares vacantly in front of her, almost as if she's in shock. Perhaps she isn't even expecting any result, spurred only by some kind of desperation. Now it's sinking in. Unfortunately, we need to get moving. We don't have time to wait for everything to register in our heads. Kneeling in front of her, I give her a light shake.
Belle, we need to go. You can't stay here.
Slowly, she turns, staring at me with wide eyes. Worry flickers briefly in them, along with something ineffable. Then, without warning, she lifts a hand and slaps me right across the face. The sound of it cracks the air, shattering the silence like a fragile glass breaking. Despite the familiar rumble of thunder outside, it manages to ring louder above the storm. Oh god, look at her fierce look, too. God, that is scary. I don't even know what hit me, until my head has already snapped back and my cheek stings with her anger. And it is anger. In spite of the stillness and the lack of words afterwards, not fuming though, never fuming, but the kind that burns lightly and soundlessly. A frustration instead of a seething rage. One that ebbs just as quickly as it flows, and once the tide subsides, there's only that gleam in her eyes, warm, steadfast, and unflinching. Quietly, I brace myself for the truth underneath that gaze. It slips from her lips, softly, nearly fading under the sound of the rain, still falling fast, if not for the weight in each of our words.
What is wrong with you?
Belle,
If Zach didn't slip up, no one would have known where you went.
Oh.
Belle, one person knowing is enough. Any more than that, and
You almost died! He could have suffocated you right then and there, and you could have died!
I told Zach to give me 4 hours. That would have been enough time to...
It would have been too late! And by the time anyone ever finds out, you're already fertilizer!
Wow. She trails off, drags one indrawn breath after another. A brief lull as her frustration finally gives, dissolves into something more pensive and somber. Her shoulders droop, and though her voice rises hoarse and weary, in her next words, there's only certainty.
You count too, you know. When I said, that night when I told you I don't want to lose anyone anymore, that includes you, alive. We're still here, Ash. You have us.
And once their meaning fall, roar, it does so, not with force of a dam breaking or a raging storm, but with the gentle, steady warmth of a hearth burning, an ember easing slowly, lightly, rising and giving until all that's left is a truth, an understanding. Not alone. Never alone. Kaboom! The slap of justice. Anyway, it lingers. Even as we both drift back into silence, and her words take root, because in the gratitude that swells after is another warmth blooming. Pleasant, welcoming, like finding home, like finding ourselves in the haze a squall has left, creating something fragile yet immutable in both of us. It's in her eyes, in the way she holds my gaze, unwavering, in the way she carries herself despite sitting amidst a place she fears, in the way she keeps herself from trembling and falling apart because fear is god damn it, what's this word that I corrected myself on, but now I can't remember. Inconsequential, when people she cares about are at risk. A change. She realizes that now, holds on to it. Another little thing, another small thing from her that may go unnoticed and pass by quietly, but will eventually amount to a lot of things. Tiny gestures that mean nothing at first, but began to matter to me one day, until, oh. Despite myself, a small smile slips from my lips as the same warmth from earlier unfurls in my chest. Unhurried, familiar, and bright from all of these years I've carried it, but have never given the words for it.
Stop smiling like that, Ashton. I'm not done scolding you.
I'm not done scolding. But this time, they come easy.
I heard all of it. Don't worry.
Are you really okay? That guy hit you a little too hard on the head. Here, let me...
I reach up just as she extends a hand towards my face, catching her wrist in a light grip, drawing it closer and folding her hand in between mine. Although her expression does shift into mild confusion, she does not pull away like I'm expecting. She simply stares at me, searching. For her to allow a gesture from me that's perhaps too close, it tells a lot how far things have already shifted in the past few years. Cradled in mine, her hand still trembles. Most of the tremors has already subsided by now, though I doubt it'll fade away this soon. Even as I trace the lines of her palm, in what I hope is a comforting gesture.
I'm sorry, Belle.
For what? Is this about what happened tonight? You can apologize later when...
No, well, this too, but it's not just about this. It's for a lot of things. For calling you clumsy, and careless, and a scatterbrain.
Okay. Dialogue, please. Are you sure this isn't a concussion?
You would think that, wouldn't you?
Well, you don't usually apologize.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that too. For all the times I've teased you and made you cry.
You made her cry, you bastard? Unexpectedly, her fingers tighten around mine, our hands falling between us as something tender shifts in air. Another exhale. Another drawn breath eases out of me, filled with every hesitation and uncertainties. But when I finally choose to break silence, it's only when I know what will slip past my mouth is that one truth I will hold against the world.
But for all those callous words, despite all those, there's nothing I don't love about you. In fact, those things, I love those. And everything. Everything that's you.
For a long moment, she offers no response. Her grip on my hands merely tightens. Although my heart's pounding hard against my ears, I take a chance and look up. Slightly leaning away and giving her a cautious glance, more than ready to hear her rejection. Oh no, you're pretty up there. And it is one, despite the smile on her face, if it can even be called one, of course. There's a pain aspect to it I can hardly name. Regardless of what it means to her or what she intends to convey with it, the sight of it alone makes me regret ever mentioning anything. Never mind. I guess I made a choice that didn't make her love you. Sorry, Ash. It's almost as if she's forcing herself to push out the next words out of her mouth for the sake of not hurting me. Not that I won't be able to take it, but if these feelings will only put a heavier burden on her, I'd rather not have said anything at all. As expected, with one last squeeze at the hand cradling hers, she pulls her hand away from mine. When she speaks though, there's a stark refusal to meet my eyes. Not that I hold it against her. The situation's already awkward as it is.
Ash...
Here's the refusal. She pauses, biting her lower lip. A small frown forms between her eyebrows, while she struggles to find the right phrases to string together.
Ashton, I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Well, that sucks.
Oh, no, it's cool. I was already expecting that, kind of. But you don't have to...
No, I mean, I can't.
Wait, what?
I can't afford to think of anything other than helping my family. Especially now that Papa's gone. They're going to need me more than ever, Ash.
She chooses her family.
I'm sorry. I really can't. Not right now.
Not right now. I've always known it would lead to this, to some extent. Her family will always come first. Who am I to take that from her? It hurts, of course, but the pain eases, knowing that in spite of circumstances, her heart will always be in the right place. That she's still the same woman I've fallen in love with.
It's alright, Belle. Don't apologize. If it still matters, that's actually what I love about you. Of course, not that I'm expecting anything by telling you that, but you get the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ash.
Hmm.
I mean, thank you for loving me. Even after everything.
Her response is a smile and a soft laughter, perhaps the sweetest I've seen and heard from her. Just from it, I know nothing will change despite her answer, and any lingering feelings that will come from this. And there will be. Lingering feelings, that is. With the way she barged into our lives 5 years ago, it'll probably be enough to leave a terrible impression on anyone. But that's also precisely it. It's people like her that you don't easily forget. It's them that gradually worms their way into a person's life, until the very thought of losing them becomes unbearable. As it is, I'm already content simply staying by her. No grand expectations or hopes attached, just the banter, the small smiles, and the quiet little moments that roar. I love her. But that also isn't all there is to us.
I know I caused you all kinds of trouble these past few years.
Hey, whoever told you I'm doing this for free? After we're done with this curse thing, you're gonna owe me a year's supply of ice cream.
Yeah, we'll see.
Another laughter, this time from both of us. Then she hits my arm with a light punch. Familiar, warm, bright and hopeful, much like everything about her. And it is strength enough to keep me going as I let us both out.